Hey guys, what's up? It's Esti-Fit Chick. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my experience with acne. A lot of people don't realize this, but I had really bad acne. It started when I was about 13 years old, and it didn't start on my face. I actually broke out in cystic acne all over my back. It was so painful, I wasn't even able to sleep on my back. So my mom, she called my grandma and she was like, "What is this?" She was really concerned about it. We went to the doctor. They tried several medicines. I was on tetracycline, minocycline, other types of acne medication that they tried. And it seemed like with each medication that they put me on, it actually made me break out in another area. It's like, okay, well now it wasn't just my back. Now I was breaking out on my chest. Now I was breaking out on my face. Then my arms were breaking out, and it was super discouraging. So I tried several different, over-the-counter things. I tried apricot scrub, I tried Cetaphil, I tried Neutrogena, I tried Proactive. I tried so many things, and I was just so desperate to get rid of it. So I had gone to a dermatologist eventually because the doctors decided like nothing that they were doing was helping me. So went to a dermatologist, and actually he put me on birth control and doxycycline. And the combination of those two things actually really helped me for, the doxycycline is what he had put me on, and it helped a little bit, but not all the way. So then he decided that he wanted to try something different. And in combination with the birth control, he put me on spironolactone, which is, I think it's treated for like high blood pressure, or I don't know, something else. Didn't really have anything to do with acne, but apparently it was what my body was needing. It seemed to be more of a hormone imbalance that was causing it than an infection. So that helped for quite some time. I was on it for a couple years, but then I was no longer in school. I couldn't be on my parents' insurance, so I wasn't able to take the medications anymore. And for a few years, I was fine. I would get the occasional pimple, but no big deal. Then I moved to San Diego, and I don't know if it was the climate change, just the stress of being in a new place. I don't know what was going on, but my skin just got really bad. And it was progressively getting worse. And so I went to a dermatologist again, and they tried the doxycycline first, and that didn't work. And then they tried the spironolactone, and I thought for sure that that would work, but it didn't. So finally, as a last resort, I went on Accutane. If you know anything about Accutane, it's a very high dose of vitamin A, and it's very dangerous. It can damage your liver. At the time, they were concerned that it could cause depression. It can affect your eyesight. You certainly cannot get pregnant on the stuff. You actually have to take a test every month, a pregnancy test, within 2 days before your doctor's appointment. You have to take an on-the-phone test, like a quiz, that you're knowledgeable about the medication to even get it, and then you have to pick it up within a 3-day period. And if you don't do that, if you're unable to make it to the pharmacy to pick it up, then you have to start the whole process over again. So it's pretty serious stuff. It was a lot of work. You definitely can't drink any alcohol while you're on it because it's already so hard on your liver. You definitely have to avoid the sun. Your skin is so dried out and sensitive, and I would shed my lips like a snake like 3 or 4 times a day. People will be like, you have something? I'm like, yeah, that's just my lip falling off. It was pretty bad, but to me it was worth it because my skin was finally clearing up. And I would go places, and I would talk to people about Accutane. I would run into someone who'd been on, and they're like, oh, like everyone had a really negative thing to say about it, or a negative response. And I was thinking to myself, wow, I'm having like a positive experience from this because my skin is clearing up. Why did they think that it was so negative? Yes, there are plenty of side effects that come along with it, but having acne can be so hard on your self-esteem. It can make you feel so ugly, and like people think that you're dirty or something, and that's not the case at all, but it's just how we feel because we're our hardest critics. So after I got off the Accutane, my acne came back a little bit. It was very like sparse, 1 or 2 pimples within the first 6 months, and then after that it started to come back again. After about a year, I actually had to go through a second course of Accutane. I had to go through it all over again. In the first time, the only side effects that I really experienced was obviously the dry skin, my peeling all the time, and I had some visual problems, but they went away when I got off of it. The second time that I went on it, I was like, okay, I've got this down. And again, while I was on it, my skin looks beautiful. On my face, it's like my face was evened out and the rest of my body was just super dry. Like you can't use enough lotion in the world. It's pretty intense. But I got off of it, and sure enough, after about 6 months, my acne started to come back, and I just wasn't willing to go through that again. And after my second treatment phase of the Accutane, it actually permanently affected my vision. Now I have problems seeing at night when I'm driving. So I don't like to drive at night, and that is a side effect that I had initially with the first, but it went away after I was done, and unfortunately the second time it just permanently affected my vision. So it's very serious stuff, and I would definitely look into alternative options before you consider Accutane, especially because I've been through it twice and it didn't even actually fix the problem. So, I mean, it did aid it, and my skin was looking very good while I was on it, but it just wasn't long-term, and you can't be on it your whole life. So, it just, looking back, doesn't seem like the best option, but I mean, live and learn. So, I went for laser hair removal once, and you cannot have laser hair removal if you've been on Accutane within the last 6 months to a year. So, I had been off of it for a year at that point, and I overheard someone else coming out, the esthetician, telling her, you can have it, like, she was talking to her, apparently that client was about to start Accutane, and the esthetician was telling her there are other options that you can consider, and I'd love to talk to you about those. So when I met her, I was like, tell me about these options, because I've been through it twice and I'm starting to break out again. And she gave me some product recommendations, and those started to help. And that is what inspired me to go to aesthetic school. So I had struggled with it, and I just thought to myself, why didn't anyone educate me at that time before I started Accutane? Why didn't my dermatologist tell me, why don't you see an esthetician? Why did they just go into this harsh treatment when there were other options that could have helped me? So through that, I went to aesthetic school. Eventually, I got into that, and I learned a ton about my skin. First thing, people, do not use apricot scrub. That's like the worst thing for you. And it was like the first thing I used. Like, that's what everyone goes to when they're a teen. Do not use apricot scrub. It's so abrasive, it actually makes microscopic tears in your skin. It opens it up for more bacteria to get in there. So throw away the apricot scrub. They shouldn't even sell it. Like, that should be against the law. There are definitely other things, like there's clarifying beads that are spherical and they're much gentler on your skin. If you are experiencing acne and you're working with a dermatologist, talk to them about, you know, seeing an esthetician. A lot of dermatologists now actually have an esthetician in their office who can help you with those treatments and do those alternate things. I had tried Proactive, I mentioned, and that stuff made my skin so much worse. And I called them and I was like, oh, I want to cancel. And they said, why? And I said, it's not working. They're like, oh, you need the extra strength. So I got the extra strength, and that made it even worse. Like, it just wasn't what my skin needed. And there are so many things that go into what causes acne. It could be the foods that you're eating. It can be the stress in your life. It can be a hormone imbalance. It can be from not, washing your face at night before you go to bed. It can be from over exfoliating. There are so many things that can cause acne. So it's really good to get a professional's opinion. And I recommend seeing an esthetician, because they do this every day. They have people that they work with, and they've seen experiences, they've seen the scenarios. It might take them a few times to get it right, because everybody's body is different. But don't put yourself through something that can damage your eyesight or cause you depression, those sorts of things. That's a long way to go for clearing up your acne, when there might be some simple solutions. And with the price of medications these days, the options that they may give you for skincare may even be less expensive than the medications that you would have to pay for. So I still get pimples every now and then. I'm actually having a little breakout right now, but it's just learning to deal with it. And over time, you learn what works for your skin. I'll also be doing some videos in the near future about products that I use that have helped me with my acne and learning about my skin. It's not necessarily about acneic products, but products that are going to even out and balance my skin. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below. I'd love to get back to you. And you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.